Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I am doing well. I actually only got 6 hours of sleep last night, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm pushing through the day. It's my only day off before I go back to work tomorrow. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you have known that I finished my shift pretty late last night. I got to Toronto at like 10:30, had to change in my car, was done by like 11 o'clock once I was in my car and ready to go, and then I drove home, which is a 3.5 hour drive. So got back home at around 3 a.m. and yeah, the life of a commuting flight attendant. In today's video, as promised, it is a Q&A flight attendant edition. I asked you guys to ask some questions down in the comments below or to contact me on Instagram, and y'all came through. You asked me so many questions, so I will be addressing those today. So the first question we have is, how often do you speak French with passengers? Now this varies because there are a couple different factors. So if I am the only French speaker on board out of the crew, then I will be doing the French announcements, I will be translating the pilot's announcements, etc. And obviously if there's someone on board who speaks French, and or if there's someone who speaks English and French but they prefer to speak to someone in French, then the crew will come and get me and I will go and speak to them. So I would be speaking more French directly with passengers if I'm doing a domestic flight within Canada rather than doing a flight, like let's say doing a Curacao turn. I probably wouldn't be speaking that much French on that flight to the passengers. Also from the same person, they asked the second question. Since we haven't seen any 24 hours videos lately, does this mean that you haven't had any layovers in fun cities? Yes and no. While I did those videos, doing those in like Shanghai, Vancouver, London, San Francisco, I was all on reserve. I've been called off of reserve to go on these fun flights, and I haven't been on reserve lately. So since I'm so junior in the company, I'm only a year in now, I can't hold those flights. So I'm pretty much only doing like domestic flights, sometimes transborder, and I'll be doing turns and stuff. So for example, this month I have 3 Winnipeg layovers and 1 Edmonton layover. So to me, it's not necessarily like a fun destination per se. Like I enjoy them, but I don't know if you guys would enjoy coming along with me on like a shorter layover. For example, my Winnipeg layovers are like 16 hours or not 24 hours, so I'm not really going out and exploring and stuff. So I just figured you guys probably wouldn't want to see it, which is why you haven't seen any more of those videos lately. So this next question regarding managing long-term relationships as a flight attendant, I'm actually going to address this in another video because there's so many different variables and so many things that I can talk about with regards to this question. And I don't want this video to go on forever, so stay tuned for a whole new video just for that question. Do you need to learn how to swim to become a flight attendant or pilot? In my personal experience, you don't need to know how to swim. Obviously, it will be very beneficial in the situation that, you know, we do have a water evacuation. However, you do have, or you should be, having your life jacket on at this point. So you would be floating, so just as long as you can get through the water, but obviously it'd be super beneficial if you know how to swim. On the pilot side of things, I don't have very much experience. I know for some helicopter pilots, they do have egress training with water landings. I don't know if you actually need to know how to swim though, but just how to exit the aircraft in the water. Again, obviously it'd be very beneficial if you know how to swim, because at that point, when you're already out of the water, what are you going to do? You're going to have to swim. So short answer is no, you don't need to know how to swim to become a flight attendant, at least not in Canada or with the 2 airlines I have experience with, which is WestJet Encore and Air Canada. I can only speak for those. I'm not too sure about the other airlines in Canada. So this next one's a funny question. Do you take your socks off before going into the bathroom? And this is from a pilot asked me this question, one that I used to work with at WestJet Encore. It's kind of just a running joke with flight attendants because we find it quite disgusting if you take off your shoes as well as your socks and walk into the washroom, because the washroom is a nasty place. You know, we do our checks and we do our due diligence of cleaning the washrooms every 30 minutes. However, within those 30 minutes, people just pee everywhere and they become really gross and sticky, and I just don't understand why someone would want to take off their socks, let alone their shoes, and walk into that filthy environment. So no, I do not take off my socks and I do not take off my shoes before I go into the washroom. And you shouldn't either. Next question is, which aircrafts are you trained on and which one is your favorite? A lot of people have asked me this question. I did mention in one of my other videos what aircrafts I am qualified on, but I will list them again here. We did get a new aircraft, so I think I'm qualified on 11 now. Oh gosh. It's a lot. There are a lot of aircrafts that I fly on. So here we go. The E190, the A220, A319, A320, A321, A330, 767, the 737 MAX, 787-800, 787-900, because we classify them in two different aircrafts. The 777. I think that's it. I think that's 11 aircrafts. I'm probably forgetting one or two, but I'm pretty sure that's it. If I forgot anything, then I will list it on the screen. My favorite aircraft is actually the A320. A lot of people love the wide-body aircrafts. I'm just not too keen on them. From a flight attendant's perspective, they are spacious and very comfortable. However, there's so many people on it. You're typically doing super long haul flights, and I'm just kind of more about the shorter medium haul flights nowadays. With the A320, it's a manageable load, so I think we go up to 136 on the A320. There's an extra jump seat in the back. It's just manageable. I feel like it can be more personable. It's not just like I'm trying to get through a cabin of 400 passengers. It's quicker to board and faster to deplane. There are just a lot of good attributes to it, and I work on it a lot. So if I was to say my favorite aircraft for a wide body, it would probably be the 787. I did get several questions about the pay, and that is actually going to be my next video, which I've already filmed and is ready to go after I post this one. So I'll be posting my pay video in a couple of days, so just stay tuned for that. Another question is, why didn't you choose to work with Air Canada Rouge? And funny story, I actually applied to Air Canada Rouge while I was still at WestJet Encore. I just never heard anything. Not even one little peep. So I kind of just gave up on that. I actually did get contacted by Air Transat, and I almost went to the face-to-face interview, but after finding out just their policies and stuff, I just figured it wasn't the right airline for me, so I didn't move further with that, and eventually I just ended up applying to Air Canada when the job posting came out. What is the longest plane trip you have taken? That would just be my Shanghai flight, and that was over 14 hours. What keeps you up at night? Actually, I have a great answer for this. Recently, what has been keeping me up at night is, for example, last night or yesterday, I did Winnipeg, Montreal, Toronto, and then I drove from Toronto to my home, which is North Bay, so 3.5 hour drive. So for the full day, it took me about 12-13 hours from when I left Winnipeg all the way until I got to North Bay last night or early this morning. And the whole day I was in a plane listening to the ambient noise. It's pretty loud on a plane, and then going straight to driving, having road noise, you know, listening to music, listening to audiobooks, and then suddenly getting home. It is like 3 a.m. I'm in bed by like 3:30, and it is so quiet. It's so quiet, and my brain just doesn't know what to do with it. It's just been hearing all this noise all day, and suddenly it's like dead silent. And I have a really hard time falling asleep after days like those. So that's what has been keeping me up at night lately. So someone says, talk about airlines that hire unilingual cabin crew in Canada. Now, most of the time, and at least for the past couple of years, there hasn't, at least to my knowledge, been any job postings for unilinguals. Now you basically need to have a second language in order to get a job as a flight attendant in Canada. I believe for Air Canada, the last time we hired unilinguals was, I think, 2 to 3 years ago, but I haven't seen any job postings for unilinguals since. Okay, well, that is it for today. If you didn't see your question in this video, then chances are I will get to it in another video, or I'm actually going to dedicate a full video to your question, because I can go on forever and this video would be way too long if I answered all the questions. But I do really appreciate you guys asking me all these questions, and I had fun answering them. So if you'd like to see more videos like these, then just let me know. Give this video a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!